The most annoying part about it, though, is that this guy's actually my one of my best friends and soulmates, and I guess that kind of makes it a little bit better. Actually, like I never wanted to be one of those girls, and this is why I like rejected this aspect of like kind of femininity for so long. Is I never wanted to be one of those girls who fell for like a complete delusion. Like, fell in love with someone the way that like a woman should, who was purely toxic, and the potential that I was in love with was of them like loving me, like just at all, basically. Whereas when you fall for a fuckboy who you've already like identified, like the first thing you identified was, oh, this is like one of my people. I can tell, I can feel it, and this is someone that I will love forever. It's like innate in me. We're already best friends. Granted, we have absolutely no foundation. It was just a spiritual identification. That's almost a little bit better, I guess, because then you fell for a partial delusion. You fell for the visions that are real, that are real. If you know, if you guys are both in your light, they're real. When two toxic people are in their light, the result is nothing. The result is separation. The result is illumination. But you can have very successful things with best friends. It may not be the one. And I it but I still don't know what to do, and I'm still mad, and I'm still sad, and I still feel disrespected and just like not honored. But that was, the position that I put myself in. That was the leap that I made, where I was sensing like I was sensing something eternal, but the eternal was not accessible to me yet. The eternal might never be accessible to me with this person. We were probably supposed to be nothing but friends. Even though there's potential to work through things together, that's something that you have to choose. And I'm clearly not someone that he wants to do that with. Or he doesn't understand what it is. I'm not sure. I've had this like weird, like, I put like oil on it all the time, and it's this little like sort of dry patch under my eye that formed when I left this man's house, and it's just kind of like been there like the whole time. It's this little spot that's just can't tell because I put my cream on it, but it's just something I've noticed. Not sure what that is, and I don't usually get that. But I guess now I know more of like what is required for me to really sustain, to really like remain in that like magical, like healing, like sensual energy with someone. And it should have been so obvious to me before, but that's obviously why I collided with this person, was to solidify that and to see like, hey, You do need someone who like respects you and respects your feelings and respects your time and your energy and your effort and wants to protect the things that you want to give to them instead of like continually test them over and over again, which just is like pushing them away. You know, I I I kind of thought that like at the dance like that would be sort of beautiful, but it's kind of only a dance that makes sense like with your twin flame, and everyone else. You just sort of have to be like, hey, like this is what I want to offer you right now, and this is what I need you, where I need you to meet me. I need you to meet me here, and we can do this beautiful thing, and I'll be extremely like, honest and transparent with you and very respectful of you, and we will do everything possible to make this like not painful, because we're going to take everything into account. We're going to not like abandon each other randomly. We're going to just be very gentle and intentional with each other, and that was always my intention with this person. But now I know like what standards to set at the beginning. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning and lit a candle and cracked open a beer and started reading some Immanuel Kant for one of my classes. This is the Prolegomena to Any Future Metaphysics, and it has Critique of Pure Reason in here. And at first, these were really pissing me off, but then, I don't know, something about just like the like pure sort of like abyss energy that I was in, like the depression energy made me like, I was just sort of like, well, fuck everything, nothing matters, and I'm dead. And so it like made it so I could like really like read the words better. I feel like it almost like gave me like a sort of the psychoactive effect that you get from being stoned, like where you're just like so immersed. So there's definitely something to that, because I was in some kind of like surrender state, and typically what happens is I get kind of like addicted to my surrender states. Like if I find a little point, like you find these little like points, these little positions where you're like, whoa, I think I'm in a state of flow. Like I feel like I'm floating. I feel like you're like, yes, I would like to be in this forever. Like I've just really tapped into something here. Then I lean into it, and then inevitably like pain starts to arise, like something gets uncomfortable, you start having thoughts that, and your energy changes while you're in this position that was at one point like an amazing flow state. And then you remember that the only constant is change, and that you have to. So it's now 10 a.m., right? So I've been like in this sort of little place. This is my second beer, so I'm not like sitting here like getting drunk or anything, because granted that'll make you like kind of uncomfortable. But then I started feeling like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. The flow state left. And then I started getting a little bit like depressed, because I was thinking about that guy, and just, you know, just like kind of breaking my heart over and over again in my head. Because the visions, and it's just, I think there's an aspect of like you saw this way to love this person, and I think we often like tap into like the highest version of our like potentials with other people, and then we don't know how to like do the other stuff. And to be fair, I think sometimes like I think oftentimes like if you see, you know, the high point of you guys, you're like, I don't want to be like in the muckiness. And yet that sounds like such hypocrisy at the same time. But I think it's important to like establish what your original intentions were and then bow out of those original intentions. And the reality is that I'm not in touch with like most people right now that I know are like my best friends. And so let's say that I had been able to perceive at the beginning with no desire to go through the process, because frankly, I could tell at the beginning that like, oh, actually, I don't know if we should like get all wrapped up in like sleeping together. I actually like felt that at the beginning, and yet I was like, wait, is this really on the table? Is this really happening? And then I was like, well, obviously I want to take it if it's there, because I think I was kind of in disbelief that it was even being presented to me at all. But let's say that I had followed through on that, you know, like I hadn't needed that lesson. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna engage with this person as a friend. Well, there's a really high chance that we would have had some really beautiful conversations and then still would have separated and wouldn't be speaking right now, because neither of our lives are really something that we can like bring the other one into necessarily, like to be immersed in, like, because it's just not. They're just like sort of these undeveloped lives that hardly even belong to either of us like completely. And so it just feels like sometimes it's hard, like when things are in this liminal space. It's frustrating because at the same time though, I feel like I don't see why I can't love someone like through the stuff. It feels like I'm so capable, and yet like it's just not there. Like it just feels like we're all just gonna like, we're not gonna come together until like everything's like good. And it's like, why are we all so like isolated and lonely? I don't want it to be that way. Like, I'm just trying to like have self-respect. That's all. That's all. So I went on a bender and it kind of flattened me out. And now I just miss him. And I just like miss him so much. I went on a bender that resulted in me well, I just miss him. I was basically like laying in bed last night, just like, because when you drink, it kind of like activates like all of the energy in your body that's like running amok, you know? And it can, if you're aware enough, it can push that energy out of you if you just kind of surrender to it and like lean in. And so what happened is I just kind of just sort of collapsed, like just like into myself and like into the ground, kind of, you know, like metaphorically. Like I just was like, I'm just tired. I'm tired. And a lot of things started coming into perspective. Like my world just became sort of like because I just love him. And it feels like I know what to do. It feels like something interesting happened like before I stopped talking to him, where I could feel like my body, like my energy body, I could feel it like aligning, like recalibrating and like cleansing and like moving and like transforming, and like I could feel it like moving in alignment with him. And I just kind of like let it happen and just laid out like what I wanted. And it didn't feel like I got met there. And I just sort of, but that's kind of like how it felt. I'm not able to explain this very well because I left the surrendered state like a little bit. Like it feels like I'm being like shifted into this like state of mind that's like more pleasurable for me, because it doesn't hurt whenever I'm in that surrendered place without all of the like the anxiety and the intense like kind of like squirrely feelings that are associated with it. And when I can just like relax in that surrendered place and like realize that like I love this person very deeply, and all I want is to like just be with him. Like it's just very simple. And when I like and it doesn't really hurt that much whenever I just like feel it like for what it is, you know, like, and I just feel just like my intentions towards him, and I don't think about the other stuff that might like hurt my feelings, you know. It's just like it's not that important. And so I can feel that my body, my energy is like trying to make its way over there, you know, and like all of the methods, everything I've been doing, going, you know, falling off repeatedly over the last like 2 months. It feels like it's me trying to just like really like ground myself into that like surrendered state, because it's just what's real. Like it's real. It doesn't matter. Like I just want to be like completely immersed in love, and that's what that state feels like. And it only maybe makes sense through my eyes, and it's okay because I just like lay there and I want to go to him and I just want to